All right, I'm in a school right now, and I'm going home. I just decided that I felt like speaking on a topic, um, and I think it's very, very important. Maximizing 2019. Well, but not might not really sound like a very interesting topic, but I believe the contents I'll dish out, some other things I'm going to say around it, would be very, very beneficial. Fine. We have 2019 almost gone. When I mean almost gone, we have like 2 months already about to wind up, and we have 10 months still remaining. Well, there's still a lot. There's still a whole lot to achieve within these 10 months if you get this trap, if you get it right, if you know how to figure everything, if you get it all figured out. But the truth of the matter is, most people still have issue with that figuring out, and I'm about to help you break it down on how you can start from a point of zero to scaling, or whichever way it is. So let's just assume you are here in 2019. You're a student, you're a graduate, you drop out, whichever category you fall into, and you don't know what to do with life. Lots of people actually go to school, they don't really get to know what they want to do. They eventually graduate and still do not still get to know what they want to do. Lots of students still ask themselves the big question of how can I be relevant? What am I going to do with life and stuff like that? And lots of other questions going through the minds of people that they don't really share with people. So if you're in that situation, you're confused, you're wondering, how am I going to do this stuff? How am I going to do that stuff? Where do I start from? Fine. I'm going to help you break it down. First thing I will have to say is that we've been so deluded in this society to just believe that we're actually not good with anything. When you see other people trying to succeed, when you see other people driving the best cars, wearing the best clothes, making the best money, you feel that, well, probably you were not created or you're not born to be reasonable, to be intelligent, to make money. You ask yourself that, why am I like this? Why is my own situation like this? Am I really good at anything? Well, the truth of the matter is, we all are good. We all have creative abilities. We eventually lost most of them where we went through the school system. The school system, actually, everybody knows, every undergraduate will definitely know that the school system is not built to promote creativity, to promote critical thinking. It stifles creativity. It makes you think one side. It makes you a mediocre, except you snap out of the mentality. So the facts, the information the society gives you, information the school system gives you, when you have low grades, that you're not good enough, it's actually all lies. It's all lies. You can be good enough, you can be better than what you think you are, so you don't have to believe those things. So now let's come back to how you can pick yourself up after this mentality of I'm not good enough, I don't know what I want to do, and stuff like that. All right, first thing first, I would say is, like I've said, you actually have something that you're good at, but you need to find it out. And in finding it out, I discover a lot of people too still spend so much time trying to find themselves. They go to meet lots of motivational speakers. They read so many books for years, yet still cannot find themselves. Well, that's another stage of delusion, because it's very easy if you have the formula, if you have the roadmap to finding yourself. And I would explain how to go about that. It's not so difficult. First thing first, if you have nothing doing, if you have no skill, if you have no job, if you have nothing that you feel you're good at, and you want to find yourself, the first thing first to do is try to sit down and think. Try to sit down and think. Look into yourself. What actually do you find so interesting? Is it music? Is it art? Is it sports? Is it writing? There will definitely be something that you are interested in, that you find so relaxing, that you always find time to spend. You spend so much time on when you are with that stuff. Is it that you read so much books a lot, and that it's going to be a very good advantage in trying to get the best out of yourself. So if you actually get to that point and you know what you want to do, what you're actually good at, then you can go on to the next phase. Next phase is just simple, getting to do something. Getting to do something. Lots of people actually fall into this trap of, all right, fine, yeah, I discovered I can write. I used to write when I was a kid, but I stopped. So how do I start now? It's very simple. How do you start now? It's just starting, but there's going to be discipline around it. So I don't, I'm not the kind of person that give 3 steps. Just like Patrick Beth David, I watch so much of his videos on value payments, and Patrick gives so much of steps. 3 steps to this, 5 steps to this, 7 steps to this, and the likes. I wish I could really do that. I wish I could script a lot of things I do say, but well, all this is just from my head anyway. So the first thing to do is, you've known what you're interested in, you know what you spend so much time on, then you pick up something to start. Is it writing? Do you actually have much interest in writing? Then you get your books and your pen, whatever area or field you feel so interested in writing on, you get it down and you pen it down, then you write on it. If that's the case, if it's actually singing, then you probably should enroll for music classes and some stuff. Enroll for music classes. But the major thing to just note there is that you have to start something. You don't wait till you become perfect, because lots of people, I've had so many people, I mean, lots of people reach out to me that, well, I've been struggling with starting, I've been struggling with being perfect. You don't have to get to the point of perfection before you start anything. I even had a friend recently that actually wanted to do something, and he was waiting till he becomes big or professional at it, and he has been on it for years and still hasn't done anything. Planning in the head. Lots of people plan in their head, and it's not going to take you anywhere if you keep planning in your head. You plan in your head, you succeed in your head, but you've not done anything, you've not accomplished anything. I was actually in that shoe once, where I was always planning. Lots of great ideas come to my mind, and I write it down in my head. I feel like I'm making progress. Yes, and fine, I was in my brain, in my mind, but in reality, I was not actually doing anything. I was not accomplishing a thing. Nothing was being done, and the likes. So, first thing to note is you just have to start. Starting is very, very easy. Starting is not difficult. Starting is just overcoming the fear of being good enough, because most people have that fear of what will people say about my content when I eventually push it out. I had that issue. I began with writing. I was a very, very good writer when I was very young, but getting to the school system, chasing grades and the likes, I lost that writing ability. So when I had to pick it up back, I had the issue of, what will people say about this content? What will people correct about this? Is this tense good enough? Is this good enough? Is that good enough? I'll be on it for a very long time, trying to make up my mind before I push the button and the likes. The first time I had to push the publish button, I had to just run offline. I didn't want to see people comment on it and the likes. Well, when people critique it, what will people say about this? Will people insult me and stuff like that? But over time, I had to build myself on it. That was because I eventually started. That was because I started. The earlier you understand that you just need to start something, the better it is for you. So you don't just have to sit down there with the mindset of, I'm going to get better when I have money. Come on, that statement is, okay, I'm going to address that now. If your plan is to actually learn a skill, because we're in the 21st century, and I'm talking about maximizing 2019, we're in the digital age, well, you cannot only be successful through the digital means. There are other ways you can be successful. If you go into farming and the likes, there's still so much money that everybody's just running to is it called white collar jobs, or whatever it's called. But that's not the only way to succeed. But whichever way you want to go into, whichever field or profession you want to go into, first thing to realize is that you need to start. Then the next thing you need to realize is that you can start very, very small. Because most people give the excuse of, oh, I don't have money. I don't have money to learn this skill online. I don't have money to do this online. So I made a post about that on Facebook recently, on how you can plan for your long-term and short-term jobs. If you are at this stage and you have no money currently, and the skill or whatever you want to learn is expensive. Then I'll give you one very, very simple advice. Go get a job. Go work anywhere. Go work anywhere. I repeat that again. Go work anywhere to save up, save, save and no, and spend, then save. When I mean go work anywhere, most people have this issue with, ah, I can't work in an hotel, I can't work in a restaurant, I can't work here. What will people say of me when they see me in an hotel working? What will people say when they see me in a restaurant working? And I'm like, are you for real? Are they the ones feeding you? Are they the ones paying your fee? Are they the one catering for your data subscription? Are they the one helping you to suffer when you're suffering? Are they the one putting you in depression? Are they helping you when you are depressed, when you face so many problems? Go get a job, because the truth of the matter is, if you actually want to learn a skill and you don't have money, you will keep postponing it. I've had to cancel or mentor or talk to lots of people who don't have a skill, and learning a skill, trust me, it's going to take a lot of time. It's not something if you want to learn a skill and you want to be good at it, or if you want to learn something and you want to be good at it, then it's going to take months into years and some other stuff like that. So first thing is, go get a job as a side hustle, a part-time job. I'm going to put the link of the post I made about that. I made a series of posts on short-term job, long-term job, how to get a job when you have no offer, how to get yourself employed when no company really wants you. I made a post on all those. I'm going to put the link in the post. I pray this video is really showing, so you have to just can go read on it. So you just have to get a job, go apply to anywhere, and start earning. But it shouldn't be a job that would take 100% of your time. I explained it in those posts on how you can get a job that will not take so much of your time. When I mean take so much of your time, imagine resuming for a job that's you spend 12 hours a day to work, and you don't have time to build yourself, and it eventually turns to a long-term job, and there's no potential in that job for scaling, that you can scale and become very wealthy or successful or stuff like that. See, I think Seth Godin calls it all this. He calls it cog jobs, stuff like that. So if you're having a job where you're being paid in naira, you're being paid around 20,000 naira to 30,000 naira, and you're working from like 8 to 5 p.m. every day, it's so stressful. It's so stressful. 8 to 5 p.m. every day. Come on, for that same amount. It's really stressful. So what I would advise, and if you can manage it, fine, it's still good, but you still have to devote time for self-development. You still have to devote time to learn something. You can choose to work those jobs for like 3 months, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, then change such job to a job where you work probably from 8 to 2, 8 to 3. Then you get home, you rest, you do some other things, and at night you get to start learning whatever you want to learn that you will eventually make a lifetime profession. That's what is called the long-term job. But you don't use your short-term job to sacrifice for your long-term job, and you don't pursue a long-term job when you don't have money. Come on, what are you going to eat if you're trying to learn a skill that is not going to pay you for the next 2 years? What are you going to eat? Where will you get money to purchase data subscription? Where will you get money to pay for your rent? Let's assume your parents are not paying you. Let's assume your parents expect that you already start making profit at such time. Where do you get all those stuff from? So you have to put all those things into consideration. So it's either at this age you learn a skill, you start a business. And starting a business, you have to plan. Lots of people just go into businesses and they just do stuff anyhow, no plans, and they expect how they're going to sell. You have some money, your uncle sent you some amount of money, then you decide to open a storehouse, or decide to buy some clothes to sell, and you don't have friends that can purchase such clothes. You don't have people that you know that can purchase such clothes. You don't even have plans for everything. You just come and you begin to tell friends with word of mouth that they should buy, whereas their purchasing power is very low. You would run at a loss. You will get frustrated. You feel you don't have anything doing as regards progression in life. So you have to plan all these things. You have to put all these things into consideration. So that's the first thing. The first thing is learning a skill. But I've given the solution to how you can learn a skill. If you don't have the money to learn a skill, then go get a menial job. If you are in school, well, the school system is not flexible, and I have issues with the school curriculum. The school curriculum is not flexible, where students get to work while they are in school. They go to classes from 8 to 6 p.m., which is total trash to me. It's total trash. Why would you tell a student? Normally, the brain capacity will get stressed out if a student goes to school from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's still total trash. They need time to rest. They need time to think. They need time to let their creativity come into play. And what happens within those hours is just sit down, listen to boring lectures that are probably outdated and stuff like that. Well, that's not the talk for today. But the thing is that the school curriculum is not flexible in any way. It's just so rigid that students do not get time to relate with the real world, and it really affects. So, if you are a student, then you can do something. When you're on break, go home. Since your parents are the ones catering for you, then it's very, very easy. Maximize the 2 months you would have at home. I've told lots of students, when you have break, go home. Your parents will cater for your feeding. Your parents will cater for whatever you're going to be doing. The only thing you need to bother about is waking up at midnight to make little subscription, to make some data subscription, and watch videos on one skill that you can learn within 2 months. Then you resume to school to do freelancing. Freelancing is still the best thing to do while in school, because you cannot resume to a restaurant while in school. It's unlike in the US, where probably you can do shifts, you can take your classes in the evening. I don't really know how it works out there, but in a country like Nigeria, and I think most African countries, the curriculum is not so flexible that you can get to work, except if you really want to affect your academics. So, but you can do freelancing. But how can you do freelancing when you don't have a skill? Then you need to maximize going home. I also made a post about that on how you can maximize learning through your when you go home. I also put the link there, so you can maximize learning when you go home. Your parents are the ones in charge of your feeding. Your uncle, if you know your uncle is very rich or your auntie is very rich, when you are done with school and you're on vacation, run down to their place and spend 2 months there and learn a skill. They feed you in the morning, you do the chores at home. All those things are not big deals. They are gone out. You've downloaded something over the night. You begin to watch it during the daytime, and you get to learn. Most people do not even know that they can actually learn stuff online, and which I will introduce to you. Number one, you can learn via YouTube. YouTube still seems to be the best and easiest place for starters, even though it's also complex. It does not have a curriculum. You can go to YouTube and download something that you might not really get to. You might not get to see where to start from. That's the problem with YouTube, but you can find your way around it. It's kind of not so difficult anyways also. And there are some platforms where you can learn for free. I think you can learn some skills on LinkedIn for free. You can learn on edx.com and some other platforms. Just search Google on platforms where you can learn some stuff from. So choose to maximize or leverage on your uncles, your aunties, and leverage on their provision during that such time. Then maximize learning around those times. You need to be self-disciplined. You need to totally discipline yourself to be awake at night. If you don't have the money to subscribe during the day, data is very, very important, and we are having that issue in Nigeria here, where data is so expensive and bad. But you can choose to wake up at night. I remember last year when I intentionally chose to learn so many things. I spent most times of last year, 2018, being awake at night, being awake through the night. I'll go to class, sleep off. Well, that's another story for another day. But I spent so much time being awake at night, subscribing, downloading series of videos from TED Talk on education, different videos. I downloaded so many videos. I learned so much. Downloaded books, articles, read almost all of Seth Godin's books that were available. I built myself within 1 year, and I can say I've known so much. So far, so good. So it's possible to get to that point where you can build yourself with a skill. We are in a gig economy now, where with a little skill you can be a part of a company, you can be a part of an organization, you can be a part of a firm. It's not compulsory you know everything, and to learn all those things are not really so difficult if you have your head straight, if you put your mind to it. So that's the first thing. Get a skill. Then how can you scale with that skill? I made a video about that recently on how you can make money from your skill. But how can you make money from your skill when you don't have the attention of your customers? I'm going to put the link to that video as well there. in the link in the description below, so you can also check that out. How can you make money as a writer when readers don't know you? How can you make money as a painter when you don't know where people who need paintings are located, and they don't also know that you exist? I think that's the major issue most people face, most skilled people face, when it is one thing to have a skill, it's another thing to get a job with it. So it's kind of pretty difficult because there is oversaturation of skills now. Everybody's rushing to learn skills, just like those days where everybody were rushing to work in offices where they sit down in rows and columns. It doesn't work anymore these days. That system has rotten. That system is no longer efficient. It's very easy to lose your job in such system, and everybody's trying to divert or go away from such system. And it's not bad. It's not bad. We are innovating. So how do you get to earn with your job? How do you get to earn with the skill you have? It's a very big issue most youth face, most undergraduate face. You can either choose freelancing, and freelancing, there is so much competition there that you can be freelancing. I've done freelancing before, and it was quite tedious. I spent months, so many months, sitting down with the laptop every time, trying to get jobs, trying to bid for jobs. But there is somebody else there who seems to be better, and there are so many people there who seem to be better than myself, who would eventually get the job, or who will try to charge cheaper, and I will lose such job. So it's very difficult. There is a way around it also. One, you must be very good at what you're doing. You must be very good at what you're doing. Before you begin to say you want to bid for jobs, make sure you know it to a reasonable extent, because there is so much competition, and if you want to compete with people, you must either be as good as they are, or you must be smarter than them. You must be better than them. You must know it better than them. You must know some softwares better than some other people. You must know some languages more than some other programmers. You must know one thing or the other more than some other people. If not, nobody's going to give you the job. So if you want to choose freelancing, there's a freelance site. There's Fiverr. There is Freelancer. There is Upwork. There are so many more. You can search on Google, search on freelance. There is nothing literally that you cannot search on Google. Google is the brain of the world. Anytime any friend asks me a question, I just tell them, very simple, just Google it. Google has the answer to almost everything. The only answer Google does not have is the answer to eternal life. But every other answer, Google has it either totally correct, partially correct. Google has it. So just search on Google on freelance sites, and you will see them come up. Register. You can then choose to watch videos on YouTube on how to be very professional with the freelance sites and how to get better jobs with them, because you need to understand how they work, how those platforms works, so you will not also have issues. So once you get to that point as well, once you've gotten to that stage, once you've gotten to that point, next thing is to be bidding for those jobs. Well, that's on the side anyways, that's on the side. But if you don't want to go through freelancing, which will be harder, the easier part for you as a student is to go through freelancing. The other part for you as a business, probably you're not a student, you want to be a freelancer at home, you don't want to use freelance sites. There are also ways where you can get influence. There are ways where you can develop yourself, that your audience, your potential audience, are going to see you. I made a video on that. I'll also put a link there. It's still the same video, and I'm not done with it. I'm going to make the part 2 of that video. You're going to see it there. So the thing is, freelancing helps you save money. Saving money, you learn more. You keep honing your skill. When honing your skill, you need to be able to understand how to reach your target audience. You need to be able to know how to reach those people that will pay for your skills, because you might eventually be in an environment where people do not like your skill, they do not need the service, or they might not even be able to afford the value that you're offering. So there are ways you can do it. It's very simple. Let me just give 3 steps. 1, attention. 2, engagement. 3, conversion. I explained that in the last video. And attention is just, you need to find a way to get their attention. Attention matters. But before you find a way to get their attention, you need to consider some things. What's the value you're offering? Are you a writer? Are you a designer? Are you a dancer? Are you an architect? Are you a programmer? What skill, what business are you into? What's that? So know your purpose, know the purpose, what you want, know the purpose of what you're doing, What am I doing? What do I want to achieve? Do I want to achieve 1 million monthly? Do I want to make 10 grand monthly? Do I want to buy a car in the next 3 months with this job? Just have a purpose. Then when you have that, the next thing is, who are the set of people that are concerned? What are the set of people that are concerned with the purpose you have? If you're a writer, definitely you're writing. Is it in the medical line? If it's in the medical line, then you're wasting your time. If you where you are or where you're targeting is for farmers, you're going to be running at a loss. You'll be wasting so much time, and you get frustrated and depressed because you feel you're not good enough. It's not because you're not good enough, it's just because you're not paying so much attention to what you're doing. So you try to figure out what you want to do, try to figure out um, who your value is for. Then the third thing is, where are they located and how do you reach them? So once you know it is for, is it for doctors, is it for lawyers, is it for musicians, is it for celebrities, then where are they located? Are they on social media? Are they on Twitter? Are they on Facebook? Do they meet in concerts? Do they meet in the bars? If they meet in concerts, if they are not on social media, then you need to begin to attend concerts. If they meet in banks, then you need to come to banks frequently. If they are on Facebook, then you need to be active on Facebook. You need to understand all those things, and it's by paying attention and also making researches you can use to get to know all those. Then when you can get the attention, when you have all those things mapped out, the next thing is, how can you create engagement? How can you engage them? Once you know the set of people you're trying to reach, you also need to know what they are interested in, what their problems are, what they want to do, how they want to deal, how they live their life. Those are the kind of things that you use to relate with them and create content or even engage them. Because you cannot engage, let's assume I'm a footballer, you cannot engage footballers with politics. I don't think they really are people who are interested in politics. So when you meet them at, you have a chance to meet a set of footballers for a club, let's say Chelsea, and you meet them at the dressing room, then all of a sudden you throw a topic on politics, they will get bored. They might not eventually pay attention to you, and you're just wasting your time. You're really messing things up. You must be vast with football, you must be vast with anything related to football, with games, mobile games, and some other things, sport wares and the likes. Those are the things you can use to relate and interact with them, else you'll also be wasting your time. So next step is, after you know what you want to do with the attention, you've gotten it well, how to create an engagement. You only create engagements based on what they are interested in, based on their daily lives and the likes. And the next thing is conversion, which probably I'll make in another video. Then I feel this is going to have a part 2 on how you can maximize 2019, because there's still a whole lot to say.